Hey there, welcome to another episode of Cooking with Violet Vixen. Today it's time to grab your wok and some sort of stirring apparatus because we're doing a stir fry. And here it is called stir fried beef with broccoli and ginger. It should serve four. Doesn't specify what to serve it with, so you can go rice or noodles, but since I'm working in a great place that sells a lot of food stuff, I've decided to go with noodles as the side dish to it. So come on in, I'll show you what we need. So I'm taking the opportunity to use the electric wok because I don't always use it. And the good thing about this is I can put the lid on it and warm it up later. So that's good. That comes with its own special spatula because this is Teflon coated, and so that it doesn't get scratched, you do need silicone based stirring apparatuses, and this one's good because it's a spatula stirring stick all in one. So, or a slotted spoon, that was the other thing. You will also need a pot of boiling water for which we are going to put the broccoli in. So with doing the stir fry with the broccoli, we are basically going to be bringing the water to the boil. Then we dunk the broccoli in it for 30 seconds. That will just basically make it start to cook, and then it will go into the stir fry. Other ingredients are as follows: 350 grams of fillet steak, which I have sliced up and it looks so delicious. You will need to be marinating that for 1 hour. So make sure that you put it in a glass or a ceramic dish, bowl, because you do not want it in plastic or metal because of the stuff that is in the marinade. Okay, so just remember that. You also need 175 grams of broccoli. Now, I've gone overboard with the broccoli because this is a healthy recipe and I wanted to have more broccoli. So with your broccoli, when you buy it, it's normally like a bouquet sort of thing. You need to cut all your florets off and just trim them up. And I've just got them soaking in water. You'll also need 2 tablespoons of vegetable oil. Now, if you don't want vegetable oil, you can use peanut oil, but I've gone with vegetable oil because I've got more vegetable oil than peanut oil. So that's that one there. We will also need a garlic clove finely chopped. All the garlic that I had, because it's very old, it was all yuck. So I've unfortunately got to use the minced garlic that I had in the fridge. I normally do prefer the fresh garlic. I just feel like it gives you more flavour, obviously. So you need to chop that up finely. And then you will also need a teaspoon of finely chopped fresh ginger. Now, I chopped it up, like I had a good guess. And I've actually ended up with 2 teaspoons of chopped ginger. So there's extra ginger in it. But I mean, if you're sort of using this as something to combat off being sick, ginger is a very good thing. So is broccoli. So extra of that is not going to hurt you. We also need a small onion finely sliced. That one is in here. There we go. 1 teaspoon of salt. I haven't measured that out yet because the only salt that I have, other than the big granular salt which I use for cooking, is this one. And I don't want to put a lot of salt in, so I won't use a teaspoon of salt. But if you like a lot of salt, go with a teaspoon. And the reason why I'm saying I don't want to use a lot of salt is because we've got soy sauce in it. Even though we're using light soy sauce, to me, I feel like there's just enough salt in it. I'm more of a fan of pepper, but if you like salt, then do that. Use the 1 teaspoon. So we also need the 1 teaspoon of the light soy sauce. And that just will say light soy sauce on it. So back in the 100 years ago when I first started cooking, I'm pretty sure there was only soy sauce or soy sauce, and now there's all these different ones. So anyway, so it's light soy sauce. Now for our marinade, We also will need a tablespoon of that same light soy sauce, 1 teaspoon of sesame oil, 1 teaspoon of Shaoxing rice wine. I'm sorry if I pronounced that wrong. This is Shaoxing cooking wine. I have had this for a very, very long time. I got it from when I used to work down in Fairfield. So I'm going to use that up. It's nearly all gone. So 1 teaspoon of that, 1 teaspoon of white sugar. Don't use very much white sugar either. I use raw sugar. And a pinch of white pepper. Now I had the white pepper corns here. And what I've done is I've put them in the mortar and pestle. And I've ground them up. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to make the marinade in the mortar and pestle. And then we're going to put that over the beef and we will marinate it for an hour. If you want to marinate it for longer, you are more than welcome to. So I'm actually waiting for a phone call to say I could pick my car up. So if they say my car's ready and that's in marinating and I'm doing something else and I don't get back to it, it will marinate longer. It doesn't matter. And then if you're doing noodles of choice, so these are the ones that we sell at work. This is actually a kilo of hokkien noodles. So I'm just going to put these in at the end. You just blanch them. Anyway, I'll let you know how we do these. Boil in the bag or blanch them, or you could do them in the microwave. Oh, there we go. I might just do them in the microwave and then they can go in the wok. So microwave, pierce 1 to 2 holes in bag and place in microwave. Heat for 1.5 to 2 minutes on high or until easy to separate. Well, there we go. So they're pretty good. All right, but that's a kilo. So that's a lot of noodles because I don't normally use that much noodles. But anyway, I'm making a big meal here. So that will fill this wok. All right, so the first part, as I said, is we're going to get the marinade done. So I'm just going to move the wok out of the way because I really don't have much room in the kitchen at the moment. While I've got the wok sitting around. It does not want to sit on the stovetop over there. Move the broccoli as well because that's in the way. Really. All right, and once we get the marinade on, then I can start and move things around. All right, so the beef fillet that I cut up, or the fillet steak, absolutely beautiful. So I can leave that covered over. I tricked you there. All right, into here. So we want our pinch of white pepper, which is what we're starting with. Then we also need a tablespoon of light soy sauce. In goes that one. A teaspoon of sesame oil. Sesame oil is that one. Okay. In goes that one. The teaspoon of the rice wine. I'll just use the same teaspoon. In you go. In goes you. A teaspoon of sugar. They could go in the washing up. 1 teaspoon. So if it doesn't specify a colour of sugar, it's white sugar. Oh. As I say, I really don't use a lot of white sugar. I prefer in my coffee and tea raw sugar. All right, there's the sugar. Okay, so we're just gonna, can't really use that, but we're going to. So we just stir it around. So have a look at that. You see that in there? There we go. There's not much marinade in that, just saying. All right, let's bring this over. Haven't used my mortar and pestle for ages, and I love it. All right, so see, it's got a handy pouring spout. So we're just going to go like this, tip it all over. Now, if you've got a little bit of marinade left in the bottom, which of course you're going to, what I like to do is grab something that is going in and just clean the bowl with it. All right, there we go. It's all in. It's all aboard. As I say, all aboard. All right. So if you've got something that you've got a lid on, what I would recommend that you do is put the lid on and shake it. Can't really shake this with the cling wrap on it, but I can sort of mix it like that. Now it recommends for you to come and give it a stir in a little while, but you know what, we'll just leave it like that. I'm going to put the 1 hour timer on and I will catch you then. So we've got the noodles in. I've just put 2 holes in the bag. So if you decide to do noodles or rice or whatever, cook that as per cooking instructions. And we're going to put 1 tablespoon of your vegetable or peanut oil into your wok. And then we'll start and get that nice and hot. I've got the water on to boil so we can do the broccoli. So into here we are going to add the garlic, ginger and onion and stir fry that for a minute. I'm just waiting until the microwave's finished so that I can get that out of the way. So with these noodles, I put 2 cuts in it and it's said to give it 1.5 to 2 minutes on high or until easy to separate. Well, they're starting to come apart now, so I'm just going to leave them at that. Let's get our wok ready. So turn it on, get it onto a really high heat, because that way it will heat up quicker. We want the onion in. So my steak has had a lot longer than an hour to marinate because I had my car to go and pick up and then some errands to run. So that's had a really good marinate. So there's extra ginger, which there's nothing wrong with extra ginger going in it. And then the garlic, unfortunately, is the minced garlic from the jar, not the fresh garlic. But it's fine. It will do the job. If you have the fresh garlic, you'll just chop it up really finely. All right, so we're just going to stir fry this. Give it a good stir. So you could use an electric wok or just a normal wok. If you don't have a wok at all, just use a frying pan or a saucepan, whatever you fancy. You will need a plate because we're going to lift this out. So what we actually need is our broccoli ready to go in, and our broccoli's not ready yet. So I'm just going to keep going without the broccoli. So give this about a minute and then we're going to lift it out. So this is where you need a spatula type spoon to be able to get all of this out. And the good thing about this wok is it gets hot very quickly. All right. So once our broccoli is ready, we'll just add that in. So your broccoli should be going in for about a minute with this. After that, we are going to add the other remaining tablespoon of oil. Keep your wok hot because your beef will cook very quickly this way. All right, now keep the marinade with it. There shouldn't be much marinade left anyway. Whew. Okay, here we go. Ooh. That was hot. You saw how hot that was. sizzling. Oh, yum. Look at that. All right, now I'm going to turn it down a bit. Turn it down to about halfway. Basically just want to seal it all. You don't want to overcook it, otherwise it will become too tough and chewy, and it's not very nice that way. Alright, the rest of the stuff goes back in. Not the broccoli, because it's not even in yet. So I probably should have done the broccoli earlier and then taken it out. Alright, mix it all back in. Okay, we also now can add our salt, which, as I said, I'm not going to be putting much of that in. And we'll add our soy sauce. That's how much I'm putting in. That's not the teaspoon. That's a jolly good crack at it though. Okay, water's nearly boiling for the broccoli. So we're going to add our 1 teaspoon of light soy sauce, which this is a half a teaspoon, so I'm doing 2 half teaspoons because the other ones are still in the sink to be washed up. Now, I don't want to put the noodles in until I've actually got the broccoli cooking in here, because otherwise we'll get very full very quickly. All right, here we go. All right, I'm going to go put the broccoli in. I will be back. Okay, the broccoli is nearly ready to join the wok, and then I can turn it back up again. So I'm just going to go and grab it now. So I gave it about a minute in the boiling water. So we're going to add this straight in now. In it goes. That's way too much broccoli, as I said in the beginning, but I just brought extra broccoli because it's been a while since I've had broccoli. So stir it all in. Get a little bit of temperature into it again. Stir it right through. It'll probably be really hard to add the noodles, but I'm going to give it a good go. So let's get these noodles in. Here we go. I think the best way to do this would have been to probably have broken them up first and just try and get them in. That's it. Just give it a stir in. It's like when you make spaghetti bolognese. Alright, obviously you probably won't have this many noodles, but this is a good size noodles to go with it. Alright, so just keep stirring it all until it's all heated through, and then dish it up. You'll find that it should serve 4, maybe even 6 with this many noodles. So, thank you for watching this episode of Cooking with Violet Vixen. This has been stir-fried beef with broccoli and ginger and hokkien noodles. I'll catch you on the next one. Bye!